That's something that shouldn't be going on. Kids should be able to go to school and be comfortable walking home from school and at school learning, you know what I'm saying? Like, kids at that age should not be doing things like that, especially to an adult and to their peers that go to school with them. That's crazy. That shouldn't be happening in our community. We got to do better.
You can see in this video here where it happened in the South Deering neighborhood. And we are blurring the video because the people involved are all minors. Our Sade Gray is live outside of the school where this happened. Sade, we're learning this is not the first time that this specific group of kids attacked someone.
Exactly, Marie. The large group of parents were outside of the school calling for accountability. They say bullying has been a problem at the school, but now it's crossed the line into violence. The mother, who is also the victim, has been at the school all day talking to authorities. Disturbing video, all caught on camera. Children dragging a mother and her son to the ground. We've blurred the faces of the people involved because they're minors. Police say the 33-year-old mother and her 9-year-old son were walking near 106 and Bensley in the South Deering neighborhood when the group of kids started chasing after the mother and her children, calling them names and taunting them. Both the mother and son were taken to a hospital. Word of the attack spread quickly on social media, causing outrage among many parents.
I couldn't sleep. I was traumatized. I could not sleep. I couldn't believe it.
Shanice Davis lives in the neighborhood and says she recognizes the attackers.
This is not the first time the kids have done this. Just talk around the streets that these kids have pretty much been raising themselves and they have not been held accountable. They have vandalized cars. They have harassed adults and children.
One day after the attack, demonstrators showed up at Orville Bright Elementary School after some posted on social media threatening to harm the children behind the attack. Several police officers showed up blocking the entrance of the school to protect kids inside. Chicago Police District Council member Joseph Williams was also talking with them.
We're going to make sure that this school leadership steps up and that they put a safety plan in place, that they put any plan they need to put in place to make sure that these babies feel secure. Bullying should have a zero tolerance behind it.
Tonight, the mayor addressing the attack that's drawn citywide condemnation.
Wow, it's just absolutely just gut-wrenching. It's appalling.
Mayor Brandon Johnson following a day of high emotion at this far Southside school.
I just think that it's an outrage, and I just feel like we got to do better as parents, maybe a community, maybe as a school, and this could have been prevented.
The Monday afternoon attack happened down the street from Orville T. Bright Elementary as a 33-year-old mother was walking home with her children, including her 9-year-old son, who relatives say has long been the victim of bullying. Video shared tens of thousands of times on Facebook shows a woman being punched before the assault turns even more violent. We blurred the faces of those involved because they're minors and no charges have been filed. We've frozen the video here because it's so graphic.
By far the most difficult video that I've ever watched. The pain and the suffering that family endured was quite horrific.
That's crazy. Kids is fighting adults. Where's the parents at? Why are they being accountable for it?
Top city officials, along with representatives from CPS and CHA, meeting at the school with that injured mother, who's now being relocated along with her family.
Of course, we want to make sure that there's accountability, but there's also something very disturbing about children carrying out such a violent act. There's clearly a need for some intervention there as well.
This was probably the most disturbing video I've seen in a long time. Out of all the years I've been doing this channel, out of all the messages that this channel pushes to speak the truth in love, to talk about the dysfunction, the destruction that's happening because of the erosion of the family in the Black community, the lack of fathers being in the home and what it does. I mean, I just had a video this past Monday with Apostle Quick's son talking about the role of a father, the role of a man in the home, being the provider, the protector, the priest, and the prophet. This video illustrates what happens when the fathers are not around, when men are not around, when biblical men are not around. It shows you what happens to a community. See, the Bible says this about children that are left to their own devices. See, the Bible says in Proverbs 29:15, the rod and rebuke give wisdom, but a child left to himself brings shame to his mother. And read verse 17. Correct your son, and he will give you rest. Yes, he will give delight to your soul. And also reminds me of this passage in Judges. So this is after the death of Joshua, and the Israelites began to sin against the Lord their God. So the people served the Lord all the days of Joshua and all the days of the elders who had lived Joshua, who had seen all the great works of the Lord which he had done for Israel. Now Joshua, the son of Nun, the servant of the Lord, died when he was 110 years old. And they buried him within the border of his inheritance at Timnah Heres in the mountains of Ephraim on the north side of Mount Gaash. When all that generation had been gathered to their fathers, another generation arose after them who did not know the Lord nor the work he had done for Israel. Then I also go to Judges chapter 17, verse 6. Same concept, judges. God had to continue to raise up judges because the people kept rebelling against him and following other gods. See, in those days, there was no king in Israel. Everyone did what was right in his own eyes. So what happens is, when there is no king, no leadership, no male presence in the home, the children do what is right in their own eyes. And you see, here's another verse that is appropriate for this video that I'm about to show you. Isaiah chapter 3, verse 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. The children have become the oppressors because the family has been destroyed. Where are the fathers? Where are the men for these children who have become the oppressors?
Come on, blood! Shamar looking at Shamar! Come here! What you want, Shamar, foot? Shamar, foot, what you want, Shamar? Shamar looking at Get them ankles, blood! Shamar! Giant! Junior! Why is this my phone? Hey, foot, don't touch my brother, foot. Get them bitches bad crackhead! Other bitches, Lauren. The little kids in them, not the big kids. The big kids not touching them. I'm saying the little kids. Oh, so smash that. Oh my God!
There's nothing else you can really say after seeing something like that. That was not white supremacy. That was not Donald Trump. That was not the Republican Party. That's not even Democrats. That's not even liberalism. That's not even communism. That's not even socialism. That is the depravity of the human heart. When a child is not brought up in a home with the fear and admonition of the Lord, when a child is left to his or her own devices. The children become the oppressors. Man, that's sad to see. And I hope all of the preachers in Chicago, all the pastors in Chicago who were standing behind Governor Pritzker when he was being bold and talking about how they weren't going to allow the National Guard into Chicago, please have a press conference and talk about how unacceptable this is, and that you're going to get to the bottom of it, that you're going to find the parents of these children and you're going to hold them accountable, that you're going to push for the restoration of the family. But they won't, because they like stuff like this. They like for black folks to act ignorant and foolish and animalistic, because it furthers their aim to paint black people as victims, as lab rats, as people that need to be coddled, that need to be caged up because they cannot think for themselves. There is nothing else to say. We are not victims. We are empowered for greatness.